A 7.1. Now let's get into about the end of this last couple of sections here. Graph quadratic equations with and without graphing technology. This we just finished up doing in the last chapter we covered in chapter 9, so this should be pretty fresh in your mind. Let's take a look here. First problem. Which is the graph of y equals x squared plus 6x plus 8? Okay. Our A is 1, positive, so that means the graph should be going up, and all of these are going up. A couple different ways of looking at it. We can find vertex. We can factor this and find out where it crosses the x-axis. I'm just going to start off here by finding the vertex, since all these vertexes are different, and find out which one it is. So let's go down here. I've got y equal x squared plus 6x plus 8. We know for the vertex, x equals negative b over 2a. That's how we start. It's also the axis of symmetry. When we take a look here, our a is 1, our b is 6, and our c is 8. So we're just going to plug them in and find out what we get here. So we're going to get negative of b, so that's negative 6 over 2 times 1, and negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. I could go and check that right now, but let's just go ahead and find the y. Plug this negative 3 into the x now. So I'm going to get negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 plus 8. That's going to give me 9 minus 18. That's negative 9 plus 8. I get negative 1. So my vertex is at negative 3, negative 1. Okay, let's see what we got here. Do we have a negative 3, negative 1? Oh, boom, that looks like it there. That definitely no. That's not negative 3. Neither is that. So our answer here must be A. Okay, just by the vertex. Now, if I had a vertex that was also the same somewhere else, I could look at the where I cross the x-intercepts here. Okay, by setting this equal to 0, factor it, and solve for x. But we didn't have to do that in this case. Let's see about the next one. Which of the following equations has the given graph? Now, our graph opens down. Okay, so remember that tells me that my a value must be negative. So my answer is either A or C. Okay, A or C. So what I'm going to do now is, since I know it's one of these two, I've got it narrowed down because the only two with A's that are negative. I'm going to go ahead and pick a point. Okay. We'll just do a vertex here. Let's just take the first one and do a vertex. Make it easy on you. Okay. So let's get rid of this right here. Yes.
If you have the key to
you might have to wait for a P coach to get in there. Okay, let's see here. We got y equal to negative 2x squared. Where we go? Plus 3x minus 4. So I'll just take the first one there, answer A. So x is going to equal to negative b over 2a. There's my A, B, C. So I'm going to get negative 3 over 2 times negative 2. That's negative 3 over negative 4, which is a positive 3/4. So positive 3/4 is right here. So that's telling me that somewhere right in here is my my A value, or I'm sorry, is my x coordinate, my vertex. Let's find the y here. Negative 2 times 3/4 squared plus 3 times 3/4 minus 4. I'm going to get negative 2 times this right here is 9/4. I'm going to multiply that by negative 2. This is going to give me a plus 9/4. I'm sorry, this is 16ths. What am I doing? 9/16 minus 4. So this is negative 18/16. Change this to 16ths. It's going to be 18. I'm sorry, it's times 4. Scratch that bad boy. times 4 to get to 16, so I can multiply that by 4. So I'm going to get 36 sixteenths minus n4. This would be 16. Did it again. It's times. To get this to sixteenths, 4 times 16 is 64 sixteenths. So this would be give me a positive 18 sixteenths minus 64. So what's that? 46 sixteenths in the negative. So I've got a negative y value. Come back over here. This is a positive y value. So this must be my answer here. I could also plug in 0 for x here. If I want to pick a point, 0 is x. What's my y value? Well, that would be 0 plus 0 plus 4. 0, 4. Boom. So that's another way of checking to see that my answer is C right there. Okay. 3. Which of the following graphs? Well, it's already factored for you. If we set each of these factors equal to 0 to find the x-intercepts, we would get x minus 5 equal to 0. We'd add it over, we'd get x is 5. That would give us 0. And if x minus 2 was 0, we'd add the 2 over, we'd get x is 2. So what I'm talking about right here is this right here. Remember, when you have this, you set y equals 0, one of these has to be 0. So x would be 5. Or x minus 2 is equal to 0. X would equal to 2 when you add that over. So what we're finding is, remember, y is equal to 0 on the x-axis here. So what we're saying is that at 2 and 5, and this is going to be a positive x, so our graph's doing something like that. It's got to cross those 2 points because those are our intercepts right there when y is 0. Okay, so which one does that? Cha-ching, it's right here, it's D. Okay, it's going up because we know it's positive. It can't be this one because this is negative going down. And I know x times x is x squared. If I multiplied this, I'd get my quadratic back. So, answer is D. Which of the following equations has the given graph? Well, we're opening up. All of these are positive for A values. Let's see about a vertex here. I can clearly see that my vertex is 0 something. So if I plugged in, it looks like 0, 3. And if I plugged in 0 here for x, I get negative 3, which works there. If I plug in 0 here, I get 0, negative 3. I get negative 3 for y. So, and these two are positives. It would be 0 plus 3, 0 plus 3. Y would be 3, which would be up here. Can't be it. So it's got to be down here. It's got to be one of these two. So which one is it? Well, let's take the first one. We already know the vertex. Let's solve for x here and find out where we intersect that. We've got y equal to x squared minus 3. If we make this 0 and we find the x-intercepts here, we're going to add the 3 over. We're going to square root both sides, and the square root of 3 goes the other way. 1.73 would be our x, and that would be plus or minus 1.73. The other equation was y equal to 2x squared minus 3. I'll make my y 0. Add the 3 over. Divide the 2 out. Square root both sides. The square root of 1.5, because that's what 3 over 2 is 1.22. So we're going to get plus or minus 1.22 equal to my x. So I got 1.73, 1.22. That looks a little bit further out. At least one is right there. 1.73 would be way out here at 3/4. Another thing I could do is, it looks like, what if I plug 2 in? 2 should give me something around 5. Right now it looks to me it's more this one. Let's plug in the point 2 for x into our graph, because remember the third way is to set up an xy table. And if I put 2 in for x into this equation, I'm going to get 2 squared minus 3. I'm going to get 4 minus 3, which is 1. That comes from this one. If I put 2 into this equation, 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. 2, 1 or 2, 5? 2 is up here at 5. So obviously it's B. Okay. I did it by looking at the vertex. I solved for x to try to find out where it crossed the x-intercepts there, where it crossed the x-axis. And then I actually took a point. Okay, remember we always start finding graphs there by looking at making an xy table. And when I plug in the point 2, one of them gets 1, the other gets 5. Well, that looks more like 5 to me. So it's the second equation. Okay, I shared some similarities before that. So 3 ways of looking at it there. 5. We're going to answer 5 and 6 with this one. Juan Carlos shoots an arrow into the air. The height of the arrow can be modeled by this equation, where y represents the height in feet x of the arrow and x seconds after it's shot into the air. So how many seconds after being shot did the arrow reach its maximum height? Well, maximum height and the maximum, and what was the time and what was the maximum height? You're talking about the vertex. Okay, looking at our graph, our vertex is right there. Okay, can I tell exactly where it's at right here? Well, it looks like it's around 3 and 140 something, maybe close to 150. But it's the vertex. So we can take our equation right here and find the vertex, and we'll find the maximum time, which in our case here is going to be x, and then y is the height. We just plug it back in and find the y coordinate of the vertex. Okay, so this is no different than what we've been doing in class here during this chapter. So let's get rid of all this. So my equation is y equals negative 16 x squared plus 96x plus 4. So x equals negative b over 2a. There's my a, there's my b, there's my c. So I'm going to get negative 96 over 2 times negative 16. That's negative 96 over negative 32. That's a positive 3. So it takes 3 seconds to get to its maximum height. How high is that? Well, let's check it out. So we're going to get negative 16 times 9 is negative 144, plus 96 times 3 is going to be 3 times 6 is 8, 1 to carry, 288, plus 4. Negative 144 plus 288 is 144, plus 4 is 148 feet. Okay, so you come back over here, 3 seconds, put it in this box or this box, and then the 148 here or 148 here, and you got it. Okay, hopefully this is helping you guys out. We got a couple more sections. I'll be back with 7-2 in the next